Hello there guys and welcome back to a brand new video. Earlier today we had an absolutely huge rumour about Ubisoft's open world Star Wars game. It's a very long piece of text, so I'll do my best to just go over the important things from this, and I'll leave a link to the post in the description for you, assuming that it doesn't get taken down. Today up to date with all things Star Wars gaming, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with those notifications turned on so that you don't miss out on any news or updates. So like all rumours, please take them all with a grain of salt. It's always best to just not believe anything at all, but I do find it very interesting to talk about, so that is why I do cover these. It's also worth noting that this game is still in very early development, and pretty much everything with this game is subject to change during the development cycle, so anything we see here in this rumour could end up being completely different at launch, provided that this is all true. So the person who posted this claims to have gone on a date with someone who works at Lucasfilm as part of the story group, who was in some of the original meetings for Ubisoft's pitch for this open world game. On these dates, this employee has supposedly spoken about the game and these initial meetings. They go on to explain what a story group member does and all that jazz, but we don't really need to know that because I think most of us will probably know anyway. Now, this definitely does sound a little odd to me, but of course I can't prove anything right or wrong, simply just talk about it. It definitely feels like one of those whole my uncle works at Lucasfilm sort of scenarios, but like I said, I can't prove it right or wrong, only just talk about it. In this post, they start off by talking about the outline of the game, then some world and story details, then some things that Ubisoft was steered away from, and some other things that they were steered into. So starting off with the outline of the game, Massive Entertainment supposedly said that they wanted to take their experiences from The Division 1 and 2 and combine that with the cinematics of the Star Wars universe in a game unlike any other in the franchise. They essentially want to combine tactical, co-op, cover-based shooter gameplay with Star Wars. Now, of course, anyone can make this up, and to be honest, this is exactly what I was expecting anyway, and no doubt many others were too, so this doesn't really provide anything particularly interesting. They then say they want to keep things from The Division like the character creation, armor and weapons looting and collecting, with a co-op PvE focus. Again, this is completely expected. The more interesting thing though is that they were supposedly inspired by The Mandalorian Season 1 and their use of the Mandalorian Covern, and they want the story to revolve around some kind of mercenary guild of sorts during the Galactic Civil War. They even said that the way the Mandalorian was set up was like a video game, in that the armourer is like someone who sends Mando out on quests to help him upgrade his armour and weapons. The post also says that they were keener about using a mercenary guild rather than Mandalorians because it would allow people to have more freedom with the way their character looks. For example, some players could end up looking like Cloud Riders from Solo, others like Rebel Troopers, or someone even like Cobb Vanth in the style of that Mandalorian look. If this is true, then it's absolutely the best way to go about doing this, as players love to have freedom with the way they look, and there would no doubt be a huge variety of looks to be able to have. There apparently was even talk about some safe zones in the game like cantinas where players could run around and essentially just check each other out, and I think that would be really cool. If this is true, then it would be great to have some NPCs in there as well that you can go and get quests from, perhaps even guild missions as well if that's a thing. In this meeting, the Massive team said that they want this to take place across a number of worlds. These worlds they envision as unstable Imperial controlled planets. Some could even have actual frontline warfare like Mimban, whilst others could be like Jedi where a rebel cell attacks an Imperial outpost, or criminal organisations fighting each other like in Solo. Whilst these are just examples, having the game set on multiple planets is an absolute must, and it would be great if we actually got our own ship that we could fly around in and travel from planet to planet. Having multiple planets means that there's going to be new and exciting opportunities on each one, and also offer much more diversity and replayability. This point in particular is one that could very easily change, but apparently they envision the player to be part of a mercenary guild, as I mentioned earlier, that has been sought out by the Rebel Alliance to aid struggling rebel cells. If this is true, then I think it would be really cool, and there's a ton of potential for story there, but only time will tell. Story details could easily be changed, of course, however this detail is definitely a bigger one that will influence the overall game and how it progresses, so it's definitely that would need to be finalised soon. Moving on now to the world and more story details, they apparently don't have any concrete worlds as of this meeting taking place, but it was likely a few months ago, as they wanted input from Lucasfilm. However, they want a range of planets like Tatooine and Magneto or Corellia, for example. They also said that they want planets to feel lived in, so that you can truly be there to help local population, and they also want to bring in vehicles in some way, which would be great. If you could even buy some personal speeders or starfighters, I think that would be really cool, and also just having the ability to go around in an ATST would be a lot of fun. The major idea that they were steered away from was player classes, so things like Jedi alongside other things as well, but they wanted to try and stay clear from Jedi as there have been quite a lot in that time period recently, and they don't want to add any more to this time due to the likes of Ezra, Kanan, Obi-Wan and more. If this is true, then of course it's a shame not to be able to play as a Jedi in an open world game like this, but it definitely makes sense and not every single Star Wars game needs to have a playable Jedi. Lucasfilm is apparently happy to give Massive and Ubisoft a decent amount of creative freedom when it comes to weapons, armor and locations, so pretty much as long as it looks like Star Wars and meets the story group's wishes, then it should be approved. Obviously it's not that simple, but you get where I'm coming from. They're also open to them writing in new worlds that the rebel cells are fighting on, as ultimately the universe is vast and there will no doubt have been plenty of activity like this across the galaxy. So yeah, that is all the important things from this rumour. Like I said before, it's best to just not believe anything from these rumours, but they're certainly interesting to talk about. I think it would be awesome if this game focused on mercenaries helping out rebel cells during Imperial Warfare, but only time is going to tell on what this actually is. So stay tuned to the channel for more information about this game, whether it's a rumour or leak or actual official information. But that is it from me today, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. Thank you all very much for watching, and may the force be with you always.